jam.
These two next stars are lighting up the Hungry Jacks NBL. Perth's Alex Sarr and Cairns' Bobby Clintman are two of the top prospects in world basketball. Sarr can do it all. A 7-footer who's a supreme athlete. He's got an outside shot and unlimited defensive potential. Clintman has got starting for the Snakes. He's powerful, he's got versatility, and he can shoot it from outside. Their generation next. Tonight, they want to win. Big game in the West at RAC Arena. The Perth Wildcats are back at 500, 5-5 on the season. They ride a 3-game winning streak into tonight against a Cairns Taipans team coming off a win over the Hawks last weekend. They're rested, and for just about the full time all season, they've got their full complement of players on the floor this evening. Joel Peterson with you in the second leg of our double header, alongside the returnees in Ryan Brockhoff and Pete Hooley. And as Jack Heverin said, Rowdy, as we look at our Mitsubishi Motors ladder, 5v6, it is shaping up nicely.
Just look at that ladder. It is so tight from 8th down all the way up to 3rd. Just one loss separating all those teams. It's going to be an absolute cracker tonight. Looking forward to it.
A big part of the story, Pete, is the return of Keanu Pinder against his former team.
Yeah, looking forward to this because it goes a lot deeper than just playing against your old team. The relationship that Keanu Pinder has with obviously Cairns, but specifically Adam Ford, it's like a big brother, little brother situation, and I'm sure they'd love to catch up with each other. I'm sure they might have had a little coffee and all that. I know they're enemies when they step onto the floor, but looking forward to this because Keanu Pinder's found his form, so have the Wildcats, and a full-strength Cairns. I've been excited to see it. This is the roster they wanted to put on the floor, and I think once they start to figure out their roles, they're going to be a tough beat.
Speaking of finding his form, Bryce Cotton's found some form. 20-plus in his past 3 games, coming off 37 against the Breakers. He's found his shot, Pete. That's so important for Perth.
Well, it is, and he did say, Randy, and we'll talk about that in the game, that he's tweaked something. Oh, I'm not sure how much he's tweaked a heap. If he has, it might be from the shoulders up, but they're running more plays for him. And the one thing that Bryce Cotton does better than anyone is that by the end of the game, his motor is at a higher level than his defender, because he runs off multiple screens throughout the entire game, and by the 4th quarter he's still at a superstar level. But for the Red Army, it's just nice to see him put the ball in the net at such a high rate, and for my super coach, it's awesome.
That's what you want. That's what you want. That's what we're here for, Pete. Talk about the Iron Man potential. Well, there's 2 of them tonight. These 2 lead the league in minutes. Bryce Cotton playing a stupid amount of minutes for the Wildcats, Rowdy, but Bull Call's right there with him.
That's just average for Bryce. That's just what he's done year in, year out, and he's got the motor, as Pete said, to be able to run those minutes, wear down his defenders, and be able to put up points. And Bull Call probably have more minutes if he can stay out of foul trouble. Big key for Cairns tonight to keep him on Cotton as long as possible, and those 2 are going to go at it all night.
It's going to be great to see Bull Call. He's found some scoring form, Pete, but he's going to be the main matchup tonight for Bryce Cotton.
Yeah, look, I'm looking forward to him. There's Lat Mayan and AK Gack getting ready to check, getting ready to have a big game in this one. But Bull Call, as you said, Rowdy, the focus is off the ball. He does love to get very physical. He likes to wrap up a lot, and if he gets called for a couple of early fouls, he's not one who likes to take a back step. So that's the thing you got to watch.
And if they need to go to a different man, they've got Tajir McCall, who's all kinds of versatile, Rowdy. He can go and step in on Cotton. He can give them so much in so many other ways.
And he's just starting to find his rhythm. Obviously coming back after having a child, welcoming in a new one, obviously changes things, but his form's starting to build up, and he's so electric defensively as we go to some of his highlights from previous games. But he'll be the second matchup for Cotton. He'll get in defensively, cause turnovers, and between those 2, trying to limit Cotton's going to go a long way to Cairns winning tonight.
This might be one of Cotton's toughest matches in terms of he's never going to get a break. You're right. It's going to start with Bull Call. When he goes off, it's going to be Tajir McCall. And don't be surprised if Patrick Miller gets a shot on him as well with his physicality. So there's no time to rest for the great Cotton, but Tajir McCall, you can see that first game back he played the Phoenix, his touch just wasn't there. Hadn't touched the ball for 2 weeks for good reason. Now he's starting to find his feet.
It's a focus right on the top. These 2 in that athletic mock draft at the start of the week. Alex Sarr was number 1. Bobby Clintman was number 20. The Frenchman and the Swede going head-to-head. They're 2 of the most exciting prospects in world basketball, Rowdy. They're going to get to the NBA stage. You can see their stats there and what they brought to these 2 teams. Clintman's been starting a little bit for the Wildcats. Sarr's had some limited minutes, but they're so exciting.
They are. They're the future. They've got all the skills that you want in young players. And not just the skills, but the mindset. Professionals, able to understand what it takes to play at the next level, professional level, not getting too high, not getting too low, but excited for these guys tonight.
Absolutely. The final member of our commentary team is a 6-time NBL champion. He's the mayor of Perth. It's a very good evening to Damien Martin.
It's great to be here again at RAC Arena, and 4-game losing streak, no one remembers that. It's all about the 3-game winning streak. Everyone's feeling confident. The Red Army are already getting loud. It's going to be a blockbuster tonight.
Looking forward to it, Damo. It should be very entertaining indeed between these two teams as we take a look at our starting lineups. Perth going with Ty Webster, Christian Doolittle, Bryce Cotton, Hiram Harris still in that starting lineup, and Keanu Pinder for the Wildcats. Probably what we'd expect. It's been a good change for John Rillie.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And again, Hiram Harris has been terrific in this slot again. Does all the dirty work. He doesn't need the ball. He's going to defend hard. He's going to set good screens. Christian Doolittle, I'm not sure we're giving him enough props for. He's gone down to that small forward position, and he's been enormous in this 3-game win streak. He's been a +16, +19, +19, and a +- in the 3 games they've won on the trot. So he's been a big factor in that. His defensive versatility in that position is going to be one to watch as well. And, well, here we go. Have a look at the lineup for the Taipans. So I guess you could say small because Bull Quoll playing the 4. These basically 4 guards and Sam Wardenberg is what they're going to roll out, and I'm excited to see how it works.
Oh, it's going to be an interesting who guard 2 to start with, but great to see just some health come back to Cairns. Finally seeing them at full strength, and this is the team we've been talking about. We've been excited about what they've put together. Now let's see how it translates on the court.
Looks like 3 cornerbacks, a running back, and an offensive lineman, Pete.
Well, and that
Is that just Pat Miller?
that's just Pat Miller. Yeah, who else are you going to talk about?
He's an exciting player to welcome back to this team, Pat Miller. Looking forward to seeing what he can bring to the table tonight. The Wildcats looking to move back above 500 after a torrid run of recent times. And the Snakes trying to head into the jungle and pinch one.
Have a look at Bull Quoll already all over Bryce Cotton.
Cotton's crafty enough, and we know that Bull Quoll needs to stay out of foul trouble. He immediately forces the switch onto Miller. There's Cotton, goes baseline, can't hit.
Pete, do you think this 4-guard lineup is for Cotton so they can switch on the on-ball
I do think they're going to switch 1 through 4. Potentially Sam Wardenberg's no good on that one. So I think they will switch a lot. I'm wondering whether it's just because Bobby Clinton is still coming back from an injury as well, and he's not maybe at full match fitness, but they're switching everything right now.
Here's Ty Webster on the take. Gets all the way inside, hangs and hits. And Perth on the board to open things up. We've seen plenty of Ty Webster. We haven't seen much of Corey Webster at DNP last time out, so interesting to see whether we see the other Webster brother tonight off the bench for John Rillie's lineup, which has been severely shortened.
Yeah, unfortunately he's been the odd one out. They've got so much offensive firepower, scoring ability that they're bringing in Hiram Harris, and just more guys playing more of a role for them defensively, being a little bit tougher, rebounding as well. I'm sure there's going to be a time come this season where he's going to come in, put up a huge performance, get them over the line in important games. So he's always ready.
Hey, you're right. That's exactly that key right there, last sentence. He's a veteran. He's always ready. Because this time last year, as the high-low pass, it was Corey Webster who was getting the minutes. He got the starting role as Doolittle right on cue. He's been enormous in their 3-game win streak. It was Corey Webster who came in and really turned their season around.
Here's McCall left wide open. He can't hit. And Hiram Harris has just stepped on the paint. Here's Christian Doolittle, who they've really found a role for, Pete. He's starting to hit his straps big time.
Yeah, they have. He obviously started this, when he came into the Wildcats in that 4 spot and kind of got exposed a little bit on both ends and got lost on one end, exposed on the other. And moving down to the 3, and he's been terrific. Rebounding defensively. It's allowed Jesse Wagstaff to get some minutes. And you need, when things aren't going your way, you need to have the ultimate trust guy like Jesse Wagstaff to throw out there. You need to have the veteran, those guys that John Rillie or any coach knows you're not going to make mistakes, you're going to play hard, and you're going to also bring that leadership, and that's who Jesse Wagstaff is.
Absolutely, he's been huge, but I've loved Doolittle. He looked a little lost offensively at the 4, sort of more of a screening role. This way he can play more natural, get involved. I've been really impressed with his creation and assists the last few games as well, getting involved, not just scoring the ball, but sharing it as...
Bull Quoll.
He is a 4-man. He's a big. He's not a guard.
Wardenberg on the other end after the Quoll rejection on Pinder, and Pinder's just hanging out at the other end of the ball.
Oh, you love those. You get up a little bit slower there, Pete. You know, oh no, when the ball just comes to you, find an easy one.
Hey, you say you cherry pick.
Love it, cherry. Yeah. I never got up to try and dunk it to actually fall down, but
Still 2 points if you slapped the backboard, ready.
what a perfect start for Perth here. Up 7-0.
7-0 out of the gates. Nice move from McCall, absorbing some contact.
Well, that's a better offensive set. Besides that baseline out of bounds, they took 3 threes, the Taipans, and they were way off on 2 of them. I don't think they're going to let them shoot as many threes as they want.
Hiram Harris has been important for the Wildcats. That one won't go.
It's great defense from Taron Armstrong.
Miller gets inside and there's a foul. We see the Harvey Norman replay of this whole sequence. Ball Qual rejecting Keanu Pinder, and then Keanu Pinder's just hanging out and the ball finds him.
Second foul on Christian Doolittle, and it's so often what happens when you hype a player up about how good he's been. Picks up 2 early fouls and has to sit down. So we'll take that one.
That's on you, Pete.
Yep.
Opens up the opportunity for Jordan Usher to get a bit of early run.
Just good to see Pat Miller back out there. He's been terrific. 18 points per game, 4 rebounds, just under 6 assists. I mean, we were talking about MVP candidates. Adam Ford put it out there. At the time when he went down with injury, why wouldn't be in the conversation?
You're clear.
Brings a real level of physicality for this Cairns team as well. There's Webster offloading to Pinder, who just lost the handle on the way through. The Wildcats turn it over fewer times a game than any team in the competition. No one turns it over more than Cairns, so contrasting styles on the offensive end in terms of how they've looked after the Rocks so far this year. Miller bricks that one and will stay with the Snakes.
AK Gatt getting some early minutes here. Big fan of his. And again, he wasn't playing a heap early in the season, but I think now he's just kind of earned these minutes to come in and play consistently, and he's been really good.
I reckon the Gack family would have you over for dinner, Pete.
Yeah,
I feel like you're just a friend of the Gack
I
family.
think I am too, actually, now I think about it. I was on the Wildcats train last year.
Here's Hiram Harris, who takes it inside, just can't finish. You were shoveling coal on the Gorjak train, getting the engine going.
He's been injured, unfortunately, this year, so I'll jump on to AK.
Yep.
This is the first time we've seen a full-strength Cairns, and I say full-strength. We still haven't seen Bobby Clintman yet, so wonder if he's on some sort of restriction. He sat out last game with an injury, and you'd expect the way he was playing starting compared to coming off the bench that he's going to be a starter for them in the future. So whether we see him, maybe they're not at complete full strength. But the versatility Adam Ford's going to have with this young group is going to be what makes them really good. You throw guys in different positions. Taron Armstrong, Pat Miller can share the point services to Jim McCall if you want, and everybody else can kind of fill a role. So they're going to play a style of basketball that's going to be really fun.
And they're only going to get better. I don't even know if they've really trained together as a full squad. Yesterday or this morning shoot-around might have been the first time. So they're only going to get better as they get more comfortable playing together and establishing their roles and how it all fits together.
Here's Lat Mayen in the corner. He demanded the ball. And it's going to be a Perth ball with the foul off the play.
Doesn't show up on the stat sheet, but that's what Hiram Harris can do. That's why you throw him into the starting lineup, because he just gets a body and forces AK Gack to have to do something illegal and gets that over the back call.
So 9-4 early for the Wildcats. Joel Peterson, Pete Hawley, Ryan Brockoff with you. Damien Martin, the final member of our broadcast team. Damo, these two sides, they're pretty familiar, especially Adam Ford with the Wildcats.
Yeah, absolutely. It's actually fun just listening to Adam Ford, because whilst he's never coached or worked alongside John Riley, he's scouted this team so well. He's calling out a lot of the plays, who's getting screens set for them, where they're trying to pass the ball to help his defenders while they're out there. But 2 observations I've made early in this game is, one, the way Bull Qual is guarding Bryce Cotton, the physicality, but he's going with the mindset of you can't score if you don't have the ball. His denial defense right now is spectacular. The second observation, Patrick Miller. Wow, he is a specimen. I think even his poops have muscles.
What did you just say?
You heard him right.
Thanks, Damo. You can get away with that in the late time slot, Pete.
You can get away with that if you're Damien Martin.
Absolutely, especially over in the West. 11-4. Perth with an early lead, just over 4 minutes played in this ball game. To Jim McCall, you saw him looking frustrated there after that play went out of bounds. Damo caught up with him pre-game and talked about some of the relationships that he built within this side, including that with the coach, Adam Ford.
Yeah, he just trusts me. We've been together for a little minute now. We built that chemistry, and we've been through some things together. So it's kind of we both believe in what we work on and the things that we want the team. We kind of have the same vision, so it's kind of easy for us to be on the same page.
And someone you've also got a lot of chemistry, a lot of friendship with is Patrick Miller, and you get to call him your teammate tonight. Can you elaborate on how far back you two go?
I mean, I was in his wedding. Like we've been together for years. Without this, we still brothers, and I still see him every year, every summer. So on and off the court, that's my brother.
So they met at Tennessee State, those two, and now they get a chance to run around together for the Cairns Taipans. He's a big reason that Miller came to the team, but he's a really charismatic person, is Tajima McCall. I reckon he'd be great to play with.
Yeah, he's an extension of Adam Ford on the floor as well. I think that's the one reason that they're so happy to have him back in Cairns. I mean, he coached the game in the Blitz 2 years in a row now, but he's their leader. He's their engine room. Everyone else is going to come and go because you see, like, Keanu Pinder's moved on, but Tajima McCall, when Adam Ford's can't get on the floor, it's Tajima McCall's leadership that is coming. He knows exactly what needs to be said, how to say it, and they work well together. A little 1-2 punch. It's been working well.
Of course, new dad as well. He's Tajima McCall. He's got plenty of energy, so you need every bit of it at the moment, I'd suggest. Webster out there, that same group for Perth. So John really trusting his rotation at the moment.
I was not watching any of that possession besides Bull just hounding Cotton. The entire possession, being physical, just like Damo said earlier, just not giving him an inch. It's actually entertaining just to watch how much he's putting into it. Here we go. There we go.
But, so this is what happens. We spoke about this. Bull Qualls does this from the jump.
Vaughan Mabry getting in there and saying, hey, I know you guys love each other,
But Bull Quall does this before the opening tip has even been thrown up. So he sets a tone and he gets away with an awful lot. To be honest, you could have called any number of fouls right now with how physical he's being off the floor. That's why Bryce Cott's getting frustrated. But it's not like Bull Quall just does this after 3 minutes. He does it from the start, so it's kind of gets away with a whole lot because that's just in his nature.
That's a great point. If he starts off soft and then tries to put this on, it's obvious. The refs see the change in play. Whereas if he does it from the beginning, as he gets fouled on the turnaround jump shot, but
there's a line in there somewhere about a red rag to a ball.
Oh boy, there's I mean, he's just a glove right now.
He's been fantastic to start the season. He has been playing at a real high level, both offensively and defensively. The key is tonight, stay out of foul trouble and limit Cotton's influence.
They may very well have two current candidates for most improved player. Bull Quall could be in that conversation with the offensive jump. I mean, we're saying every game now, but turned down more money and a bigger team to go back for 1 year because he trusted Adam Ford to get this part of his game out of there. And Lat Mayen's the other one. He's pretty much tenfolded his output from last year.
Quall's frustrated with himself after he splits him at the line.
This is how you get him a touch. Let him bring the ball up the floor.
It's back up into him.
So Cotton just with the opening shot of the game so far. He lets it go from deep here and gets fouled. That's the patented Bryce Cotton play.
Yeah, I think Bull Quall might have a point here. I mean, we do know Bryce Cotton, the way he shoots is, and if I'm Adam Ford, I know you don't want to be a challenge early, but maybe you kind of set the tone of, I'm not going to be okay with those calls. It'll be the baseline angle. It'll be a great tell. Bryce Cotton, you can't keep a good man down. This is what he is exceptional at. Is by the end of the game. So you hear Bull Quall saying it was the kick, so that's not what you'll see from there. But
so Bryce Cotton needs no invitation at the free throw line. 44 of 49 heading into this evening.
And 20 of 21 the last two games. He's found his mojo back and been able to draw these foul shooting threes. We didn't see a lot at the start of the season. He's starting to draw those 3 free throws, also 4-point plays, getting back to the Cotton of old. And once he starts making free throws and getting himself going, he's just so tough to stop.
Game high 9-point lead. It's been a rough start for the Snakes offensively. Shooting 1 of 8 to start. Here's Usher from outside. That won't go.
And if I'm Perth, I'm keeping the ball in Bryce Cotton's hands. You just got Bull Quall 1 foul. You want to free him up a little bit, let him continue to go at him, put him in those positions where he only goes one way.
Cotton stepped on the baseline after he took it away from McCall. Mid-court, and he's a little frustrated. 37 last time out, the highest individual scoring effort by any player this season. See on your screen there, the Taipans have been pretty abject so far this season. Away from home, this man, you don't need to give him that kind of space. Usher comes through and can't finish it off. Here's McCall back the other way with a crafty move.
Dodged the bullet there. Cotton left wide open in transition for a three.
The Wildcats started a 7-0 run, and they've held sway for the majority of this opening term. Lovely pass inside from Cotton. Saar falling away. Can't find the touch. Saar's out there at the moment with Harris. That's Hiram Harris, Cotton, Usher and Ty Webster. Miller backs his way inside. And in the corner, Lat Mayan knocks it down.
Shoots a 42% from deep. Missed the one on the opposite corner. Wasn't going to miss another one. I think the adjustments knocked it down.
Saw really limited game time last year. Lat Mayan had a great off-season with the Bendigo Braves in the NBL 1. And outside here's Usher, who continues to excel as well.
That's a phenomenal pass from Saar, showing all the skills tonight. His vision and passing, and great finish, great shot.
Is there a way that we can get, you know, your little box play, and we just have a little box at the bottom right corner of the Bryce Cotton camera? Because he was slapping away at Bull Cole in that last possession.
It's like the old-fashioned, you watch the play, I'll watch the fight.
My goodness. It's worth the price of admission on its own.
Hiram Harris checks out. He's sort of cemented himself as a fan favourite over in the West. He's doing some nice things, the Kiwi.
Well, you lead the team to some wins after a tough start, and that's all you got to do. He's been terrific.
Just what they needed in terms of energy and some toughness.
Still like to see some minutes with Saar and Pinder on the floor together as well, and even Doolittle. It's a really big lineup, and wow, that cannot happen.
Nice pass to himself from AK Gack. Recycles the possession. 3 minutes remaining in this opening term. Wildcats by 5. Bull Quell goes to work. Underneath to McCall, who can't finish but was fouled. In fact, it's going to be a goaltend.
Good patience from Bull Quell. Jim McCall playing a power forward. Here's Bobby Clipping ready to check into the game. I was just about to ask Damien Martin to go and check what's going on. Ty Webster's going to go to the free throw line.
Still dealing with a little bit of hip soreness is Bobby Clintman, but good to see him ready to roll. And he comes into the game. Chat between the referees and the players. Vaughan Mabry, Kenneth Widgeon and Hugh Starkey, our crew this evening.
It seems like plenty of chat going on. Obviously, both teams understand the importance of tonight's game and the games over this weekend to take some momentum into the break. And obviously, Perth won in the last few, trying to continue on that momentum, turning their season around.
Ty Webster's first miss at the stripe this season. Like a 10-11 on the campaign. Back to a 4-point lead. Second leg of a doubleheader earlier tonight. New Zealand taking down Tassie in Launceston. A big win, and that's another big hit from Lat Mayan, who's going early.
You just can't fall asleep when you play the Taipans, because I know that looks like a poor shot so early in the offense, and semi-contested later. Jordan Usher tries to answer back, and that's no good. But this is the way Cairns play. They play really fast, and if you just break down for half a second, Adam Ford's okay with you shooting that.
That's their style of play. Whereas Perth, that's probably not the shot that they want. No passes, straight up, dribble three. Usher obviously just trying to get himself going, get himself injected into the game, but they look better when they move the ball around, run through Cotton, and then he creates the open shots for everybody else.
Quall has a little bit of a stumble at the free throw line. Clintman puts it through his legs. Quall intercepted it from Armstrong and hit the three. That's, he says, I'll take that, thanks.
Oh, here with the evolution of Bull Quall.
He's just taking every possession at the moment, even off his teammates, as Cotton comes back the other way, ties things up. After after Perth had their first lead of the night. Clintman from outside. That won't go. Perth led by as many as 9 earlier in the quarter. Wagstaff out there just recoiling after some contact. John really wants a couple of calls somewhere along the line. Darren Armstrong directs some traffic. Now Clintman gets the match up with Saar. Love to see those two going at it throughout the evening. Mahan thought about another and then tossed it away. Usher takes it inside. It's swatted by Clintman.
Clintman's going to get the highlight and the stat, but ball qual's ability to spin a 180 in air and stay vertical. Have a look at this. There's Bobby Clintman.
Oh, he blocked that with his elbow.
Bryce Cotton continues to get it done on the offensive end for the Wildcats. He's up to 7. Perth with the lead again. A little bit of a scrimmage inside between Wagstaff and Taron Armstrong. And it'll be a foul on Jesse Wagstaff. Wildcats by 2. Minute remaining in this opening term. Let's head courtside to Damien Martin.
Yeah, that was originally going to be called a charge before Mabry saw something else, saying Jesse Wagstaff brought him to the ground. But the momentum shift in this game, first 5 minutes, it was all Perth Wildcats. Timeout was called. Adam Ford asked his players to just settle down, relax, move the ball and take good shots. Since then, they have settled into the game and they've had the momentum swing in their favour. But that shot, that level of difficulty from that last shot of Bryce Cotton, that's as tough as it gets. Is it enough to see the Wildcats get a bit of momentum in the last 1 minute?
Just 57% from the free throw line early in the season. Was still dealing with a foot injury, which hampered his pre-season hopes.
Adam Ford was so high on him at the Blitz when he was playing and playing well, Pete. He really likes what he brings to the table.
I think he came back a little too early from that as well, because they had so many other injuries and illness, and was trying to play through something that kind of probably hurt him more than it did any good. He's going to get called for the foul there, but yeah, the future is really bright. And this right now, I mean, it's only going to be a minute of Bull Cole sitting on the bench, because I'm trying to get as much little rest into him as possible.
2 for 1 here. We good. We got a warning on Perth. We got a warning on the case. Yeah.
There you go. So a warning on John Riley. Armstrong out of Tassie. A fair old change from Burnie up to Cairns, I would have thought. Won't be the happiest state tonight on the Apple Isle after the Jack Jumpers lost to the Breakers.
Well, Jack Jumpers fans thought they'd see him in a Jack Jumper jersey.
Highly sought after. Seen a little bit of white.
See how quick they're going to go for a 2 for 1 here. Adam Ford, how quickly they can get a good look.
Michael Harris knocks them both down at the line. 3-point game. From the weak side comes Saar. Swats it away from Armstrong. Out to Wardenberg. Can't connect on the 3. Saar rips it down on the boards. Here comes Bryce. Fancy move. Behind the back pass to Usher. Spinning inside. Finds Cotton in the corner. It's wild offense from the Wildcats, but Saar makes it work.
Unconventional that. It was a bit sloppy, but Saar there to clean up the mess. And 5-point game. Important for Perth to try and get a stop here. Keep the momentum going into the second quarter.
Last shot of the quarter falls to Clintman. He passed it up to McCall in the end, and the Snakes don't get one off. And the Wildcats, after a 7-0 run to start it, lead at quarter time over Cairns, 25-20. Quarter time in the West, the Wildcats jump out to an early lead, 25-20 at quarter time. Just the one Mitsubishi Motors 3 in that term for the Wildcats, 3 for the Snakes. Great to have Mitsubishi Motors back this season. Fans celebrating in stadium with the Mitsubishi Motors 3-pointer foam hands. A range of prizes up for grabs every week, including a brand new Mitsubishi Pajero Sport. At the moment, it's the Wildcats in the driver's seat, but they jumped out to an early lead. Rowdy and Taipans did a good job to pull things back.
Yeah, it was just a game of runs. Huge momentum swings. Perth dominant early, got off to a great start. Middle of the quarter belonged to Cairns, and then Perth were able to close it out as Taji makes a great move, attacks Cotton off the dribble, gets into the lane, so crafty around the rim. And that's a great start for Cairns in the second quarter.
It's interesting, the Perth was switching everything then, trying to give a bit of a taste of their own medicine. And here's the matchup. I'll tell you what, if you had told me Bullcoil got fouled off in the first quarter, I would have believed you. There was a lot going on. But those there, the little bites of the cherry, it's funny to see that one call when there's so much else that goes on in the matchup. He just doesn't have to do that. I know that he just kind of tests the waters, but now that's 2. He gets a third one here, he sits down for the rest of the half.
And we've spoken about him before, and previous comments he's made. He doesn't care if he fouls out, but I'm sure Cairns do, because he is so important to them at both ends of the floor.
Well, they clearly do, because Tajima McCall is now guarding Bryce Cotton. He's going to have to for the next few minutes.
Is Wardenberg the trailer? One won't go. Sam Wardenberg is 0-4 exclusively on 3s so far tonight.
His shots deserted him this year. Just shooting 25% on the season, and you can see the frustration is boiling over, and he's just got to continue to stick to the process. Everyone goes through that, and he'll come good.
Let's go courtside to Damian Martin.
Picked up on it after that second foul was called on Bullcoil. He's now moved to guarding Jordan Usher. They'll put McCall onto Bryce Cotton. But after that foul was called, Bryce Cotton gave a little clap in the direction of the referees. And I looked straight to Adam Ford. Every ounce of him wanted to ask for a tech foul. But I think that previous mateship, that friendship he's got with Bryce, he kept his mouth shut and they played on.
Thanks, Damo. Here's Saar, who goes up and is fouled. Big week, the young Frenchman.
Oh, it'd be a lot, wouldn't it? I mean, you see your name thrown up. It's been around top 2 picks for a little bit. And we're going to get a coach's challenge. 1 minute in to the second quarter. And there's one reason I don't like this. Because Bullcoil was on 2 fouls. If he picks up a third and it's a 50-51, you're going to wish you had it unless you win this one.
So 25-22, coach's challenge here at the snooze timeout. Minute and 2 seconds played here in this second term. Joel Peterson, Ryan Brockhoff, Pete Hawley, Damian Martin with your second leg of a Thursday night doubleheader to kick off round 8 in the Hungry Jacks NBL. Let's take a look at the foul call on Menenga. And as the shot goes up from Alex Saar.
Little finger on the elbow, maybe. It's going to have to be some...
It's going to be a maybe, I think, Rowdy.
If it's a maybe,
it's a big maybe.
Then it stays as it is, doesn't it?
The replay center's going to be able to zoom in and look right at all that. They get the other angles, stop, pause, zoom in. We're just seeing. But it looked the way he shot it looked like he was tapped on the elbow. That's exactly what happens when you get just a little bit of contact on that shooting arm.
There's no spin on that basketball, no lift out of the shot.
When you airball it, you kind of hope someone gets a piece of it.
Obviously, it's a foul if you airball.
Spoken from experience. It's very faint, but just the way that he shot it, you're right. It just immediately looked like there was that touch on the elbow. Unless
don't know that we're learning too much from seeing this. The baseline view where it lined up with the arm was an interesting one. See where it all lines up. Sam Wardenberg's ready to roll. Speaking of physical specimens.
I am, yes, can you hear me? Yep.
The big Kiwi. He's ready to go, hoping that he's avoided a foul call here. Adam Ford's pretty casual about it all.
After review, the coach's challenge is unsuccessful. Call on the floor stands. We have 2 shots to Alex Saar.
It looked inconclusive. Again, the way that they shot it, it was so flat, no spin, close enough. But even still, I don't like the challenge because your star perimeter defender has picked up a cheap second foul in the first minute of the second quarter. And you just know what's going to happen over the next few minutes. He's going to get switched on to Bryce, or there's going to be a 50-50 call where he picks up his third, and you're going to wish you had it. At the worst, Sam Menenga gets a foul, and Alex Sarr goes to the line for 2 this early in the game. It's not as important as ball call picking up a third.
Yeah. All due respect to Sam Menenga. You can
Slide, guys.
afford him getting a foul now.
Here we go.
Delay of game
One
call
shot. Let's go. Line up. One
on the
shot.
Snakes. Plenty of commotion out there on the floor. Delay of game on both teams.
We don't see that too often in a game.
Almost like the NFL call where the penalties cancel each other
they're
out.
offset. There we go.
The flag's offset.
A lot of NFL references tonight.
Well, the Vikings are up and about, Rowdy.
Oh, those Cowboys, I'll tell you what.
Yeah, good evening to Damon Lowry. If you're listening. 27-22. There is Menenga on the offensive end. McCall, Miller, Clintman and Quoll for the Wildcats. Bobby works on Wagstaff, tries to whip the pass back out to Menenga, and it goes off hands.
It's going to take a while for this full-strength Cairns team to figure it out, because you're right, Randy, they would have had their maybe first practice this week, or if Bobby Clintman was still a little bit ginger, it could have just been a shoot-around this morning where Bull Cole had a wrist injury in the preseason, and there's a breakdown. My goodness, we never see that too often. But it takes a while to find out that role clarity, who plays where, what lineup works well, the interchange on the players. It's tough to do on the fly in the middle of the season.
I think this break coming up will be really good for them. If they can sneak a win or two this weekend, that'll do their confidence some good. But just some time together as a team on the court is going to be really important.
The next 3 weeks are all double headers. So either side of the break, a double this weekend for the Taipans as Miller gets a little bit of feedback. So Perth and Tassie, and then after the break they go Brisbane and at Melbourne United, Sydney and at Adelaide, New Zealand and at Brisbane.
Yeah, so it was out of frame, but Bull Cole, you can hear the referee saying you're both wrestling each other. If I'm to Jim McCall, I'm grabbing Bull. You just don't put yourself in those situations. You've got 2 fouls. You're going to be heavily relied upon. So here it is, off the ball.
It's unorthodox.
Well, it is. It started right here. Bull Cole just trying to hold his ground, but
That's veteran Jesse Wagstaff, I think, trying to draw the 3rd foul for that exact reason.
There's nothing in it, but he knows what he's doing. And if you're Bull Cole, you've just got to be a little smarter in that moment. Maybe Wagstaff, it's incredibly smart.
Couple of wild possessions at either end. 13 turnovers between these 2 teams. Perth only averaged 9.5 a game. Here's Miller. Gets Pinder in the air. No call. Michael Harris rips it down. Miller's frustrated. Doolittle just waltzes up the floor. Pinder goes to work. Can't get the roll.
We're 2 minutes away from Adam Paul getting teed up, I think.
2 minutes, 2 possessions, I think.
There's a call. Whole teammates going at it.
He's getting hit on the first 25. He's got to work his shot right. The elbow's out. He still gets hit in the elbow. It's still a fucking foul.
So Jim McCall will go to the line and shoot 2.
Both coaches working the referees hard. What this game means.
I mean, they're both 500 at the moment, so the Perth 5 and 5, Cairns 4 and 4 coming into this one. So it's an important game for both of them.
Stay home base on defense. Yeah.
Perth head to Brisbane later in the round on Saturday night. Cairns have got another game as well across the course of the weekend.
There's no easy games, is there? You look at how bunched up the teams are as Gia makes play, keeps the ball alive and scores, but all these games are so important. Especially at home, you've got to win your games at home, try and travel on the road. And bank some wins now, because it is just going to keep getting tighter and tighter. Pressure's going to keep building, and the game's going to get more and more physical.
We've got Tassie on Saturday night up in the north. So 27 apiece, back to tie. It's been a slow offensive start for both teams here in this second period. Hiram Harris thought about the three. Doolittle the long two. Yes.
Knocked out from Doolittle.
5 points on 2 of 2 shooting for the import forward. He was a last-minute signing to this Wildcats team. All right, just a handful of days before their season opener here against Tasmania. Miller with the little jump step.
Nothing like your point guard just bullying your centre.
Now they're starting to get going offensively, both of these teams. Hasn't been the Taipans' strength this season, that end of the floor. They've been very good defensively. Michael Harris can't hit the three. McCall can't keep it alive.
That's a foul call on Keanu Pinder. Oh, on Ty Webster. Sorry. And I tell you what, this switching defense from Cairns, but you see the way they play so hard. They play so hard. You've got Jim McCall throwing his body everywhere. Bull Quall's going to play ultra physical. Sam Menenga, we know he's a specimen as well, and Pat Miller. So they've got the cattle to be able to do this and do it at a high rate.
So 29 apiece, 5:45 remaining here in this second term. We know the role that Bull Quall will play in this game is so important, and Damien Martin spoke to Adam Ford about that pre-game.
Oh, he's the engine, especially on the defensive end. You know, he's just evolved his game offensively now. So whereas we used to rely on him more to take the tough assignments, now we also require him to score a bit of the points down the other end. So, yeah, he's important to us. Yeah, Bull has a good game, we have a good game.
He's going to have a good game tonight. A little bit of a by-play going on in the background there. Did you just see someone lurking in the back of that shot? That was Keanu Pinder, old friends. Now have a look at this from earlier in the night.
Team and coach.
Keanu Pinder's copying it in his pre-game interview when he spoke to Damien Martin. Now, Damo, I've got it on good authority that the man who was hitting Keanu Pinder in the head with a rather large foam object was the Cairns coach.
Yeah, it was 40 who initiated all of it. Funnily enough, they wanted to do the interview together. They were chatting at half court, and I said, guys, can I get you over here for the interviews? And they jokingly said, only if we can do it together. So a lot of mateship there. There was a bit of tongue-in-cheek throughout the interview, and they were giving it to each other when it comes to trying to mess up the other person's interview.
It's a little bit of fun. Nice to see them both reasonably relaxed. Both guys. Keanu Pinder getting a nice little welcome back to his former team.
It's a fantastic relationship. I know he was injured in Summer League. Keanu Pinder's supposed to be playing for the Suns, but he had dinner with Adam Ford. And Adam Ford, I know that the Taipans lost him, but Adam Ford was just so happy that he could get rewarded. Obviously, he gets a nice contract to go back home to play in Perth, and there was zero hard feelings. In fact, Fordy was basically telling him, I want you to go. I want you, obviously, to make the NBA, but I want you to do what's best for your career. You've earned this. You've had 2 amazing years underneath him as a coach, and it's a brotherhood now and a friendship that's just going to stay forever.
Cotton, nice pass out to Doolittle, finds Cotton, and he doesn't miss.
There he is, he's back. The benchmark is back.
Bryce Cotton going around the world to hit the Mitsubishi Motors 3 in the quarter and hand his team a 3-point lead. Quall goes the other way and bangs one in.
And you'd be getting close to territory of putting Bull Quall back on Bryce Cotton. If he hits another one, I think he's probably just going to sub himself onto it. There you go, he wants that matchup.
Hiram Harris outside to Ty Webster. He draws some contact on Miller. Let's see the Harvey Norman replay of Bryce Cotton. Beautiful play.
This is what he does well, and this is why everyone talked about his struggles earlier. Bryce Cotton, he's unbelievable. His greatness is at such a high level because what he does it in the 4th quarter. And you look at all the years gone by, every play, he might not touch the ball, but he runs off multiple screens. So when you get a guy who's a lockdown defender, whether it's Bull Quall, whether it's Shea Ely, all these elite defenders in the league, by him continuously running off screens, by the 4th quarter, if that defender is maybe 75%, Bryce is still at 90. And that's where you see the Ironman. He's played 37.5 minutes per game, and that's when he rises to his best. And we didn't see that in the start of the season. He was hiding in the corner. He was standing there, which means the defenders are like, this is great. I get to take a breather.
Yeah, that last one was a highlight of it. He attacked the paint, kicked it out, re-spaced quickly, found his open shot. And Bulkwall answered and tried 2 in a row. A little heat check for him right there.
I think he deserved it. Cotton, beautiful find. Hiram Harris. Ty Webster in the corner to Doolittle.
They look great when they move the ball like that. They get open shots. Cotton's in attack mode. If he's got the shot, he's going to take it. If not, bring others into the game. Drive and kick. Open three. That's a perfect shot, what you want out of your offense.
And this is the lineup. This is the lineup that keeps the ball moving with Harris out there and Webster doing a good job of that. And you get the Jordan Ushers of the world out there, and the ball just seems to stop a little bit.
And sometimes you do, like you talk about Jordan Usher when he comes in off the bench, if things are flat, he's going to bring that. He's going to be that spark. That's the kind of guy that he is. And again, Doolittle missed that. We can't highlight it more again. You might not be fully into the plus-minus game, and you might not like to read about too much, but in their 3 wins, he's been +16, +19 against Melbourne United, and +19 against New Zealand. So when he's on the floor in this new position, good things are happening for the Wildcats.
Ball takes it up straight away. Ty Webster runs the floor and lays it in.
I don't see that too often. An easy 2 like that against a 4-coach team.
Qual outside. Knocks another one in. Ball Qual. He's having a good night, up to 10 points, 3 of 4 from downtown.
How about we just get rid of everyone else? We just have Qual and Cotton just go at it one-on-one for the next 37 minutes, 27 minutes. Because they are putting on a show, those two.
It's fun to watch. It is clear out. Man. So this is a focus for the referees coming into NBL 24. The offensive fend-off.
You can unlock the ultimate fan experience this season, and it's all free through NBL Plus. NBL Plus powers up your NBL experience with access to in-depth stats, classic NBL moments, partner offers, and much more. You can sign up free via the NBL app or NBL.com.au. You'll find plenty of that plus-minus goodness through NBL Plus.
Oh, she's a QR code. She's a QR code on the screen.
Yep.
Out of bounds.
You're a more savvy man tech-wise than me, Pete. That's what that is.
Just put the phone up there. tell Grandpa, lift the phone up. Just put the camera over that thing that looks like a barcode, and you can get it. And his Grandpa turns out, my Nokia 3315 doesn't have that.
He's too busy playing Snake. That's the problem. 1 point lead for the Wildcats. Just over 2.5 remaining here in this opening half. Joel Peterson, Ryan Brockhoff, Pete Hawley, Damien Martin with you. Second leg of a Thursday night doubleheader as AK Gag tries to make his move to a hoop. He can go to the line and hand the Snakes the lead.
You feel like AK Gag's the next one under Adam Ford, right, to take a big leap. It was Keanu Pinder for 2 years. He was their back-to-back most improved players, which the more you talk about it, it's still unbelievable how you could win that back-to-back season. That's the kind of jump that he had. It's been Bulkwall potentially this year, but even where he's come from, rookie of the year, one of the best defensive players we've had in that first season, one of the best defensive players we had in his second season, but he added his 3-point shot, and now he's gone and elevated his offensive game, and now you feel like AK Gag's that next level. He has a couple of years in this system, and big things are coming.
So 2.5 remaining in this opening term. Gag ties things up at 36. Damien Martin's courtside. Damo, what are you seeing?
I just want to actually give a quick shout out to my Gloucester High School mathematics teacher, Mr. Madalena, because Rowdy, I'm pretty sure if they played one-on-one for the remainder of the game, it would have been 23 minutes, not 27. That's all I had.
It's been a long night, mate. This is game number 2 for us. He's a cheeky one, old Damo. One of the great characters.
Nice little drive by. Here's Cotton from outside.
That was there. That was the right call. Jim McCauley, he's laughing, but he know he kind of got bit on it.
You know when you're laughing after it, you're like, yep, okay, mate.
Well, he kind of just thought Bryce wasn't going to rise up. Just took a half a second. Fell asleep.
Hasn't been a happy hunting ground for them, the Snakes. Just one of the last 7 here. They did win the last time they were here, so round 18 last season, 84-71. They split them 2-2 last season, these two teams. Perth won the first 2, both in Cairns. And then the Snakes won here, and then, of course, they played in that play-in game late in the season when the Snakes got the job done by 13 to make their way into that series against the Sydney Kings. 2 minutes remaining here in this first half. Wildcats by 2. Miller just stops and drops and has all kinds of time. Mayan rises up. Foul on the floor.
Oh, Wagstaff.
Goal 0, push on the rebound. 24's up shooter.
Oh, what? Hang on. Sorry, it's the foul. It's Jim McCall, sorry. Referee pointed down at Wagstaff, and I was a bit confused because he's the one that went down. Porter's trying to have a look at it. He hasn't got a challenge in his back pocket anyway. Let's have a look here.
There you go, guys. Minus 2 here.
Oh, boy. It is not a heap in it.
Here you go, 2.
Delicately put, Pete.
Go. Here you go. Take it.
And Adam Ford is challenging some of that.
That's audio people are just having to work overtime right now. Just with these two coaches.
Wagstaff hits both at the line. All of a sudden, the Snakes are back in control of this ball game.
There you go. So now there's an official warning for Adam Ford. John Lee at the top. There it is. And I felt like this was coming. He's trying to get his point across. He's been doing it the entire second quarter, much like John Riley was doing it in the first quarter.
One shot, one.
Some things are inevitable, like this man's greatness. And when a coach is trying to get a tech foul for a reason, it can be used in the right way. I know they're not great, but if you do it in the right way at the right time, it can be beneficial.
It sends a message and hopefully gets that across what he's trying to get to the referees to see how he sees it. Unfortunately, coaches and referees usually see the game a little bit differently, but hopefully it's a little motivation on the team.
They often have different ways of delivering the message too, Rowdy, it'd be fair to say. Here's Paul Quall. He's having a good night at the offensive end and a busy night at the defensive end. Cotton offloads it to Webster, who speeds down the floor and just can't finish. He's hyped, Ty Webster.
Well, the transition points is something we haven't seen Cairns get beat at too much because they're incredible athletes themselves. And a lot of this is going to come with that role clarity where you've got pieces together that haven't trained together. Who's back is the safety, who's contesting, crashing the glass, and that's what's happening.
I think it just goes back to simplicity. Stop the ball. And if someone's got to put their hand up, get in front of the basketball, slow down the ball, and everyone else figure it out behind them.
So Webster's got 7 points.
That's just his second free throw miss on the season, which you highlighted the first one. So this was inevitable again. Some things are just inevitable, Joel.
At least I highlighted it after he missed the first one, not before it. I feel like that's
Boys, come on now.
Oh, no. Ty Webster started with 7 points. That trip to the free throw line, finished it with 7 points. Margin is 5. Beautiful feed inside from May, and Armstrong didn't go up with it because the length of Alex Saar was there to bother him. Clintman's not worried about Wagstaff. Foul on the floor. It's here from Ken Widge, and it's going to be a Snakes ball.
2 free throws here, bonus 2. Sam Wardenberg crashing. He's had a quiet first half. 0-4, all threes. He's got 2 threes in the first 60 seconds. And I think when he's struggling to shoot the ball like he is this season, maybe the first one's okay, but I like to see him get a layup or get to the free throw line early. When you're shooting 25% and you're letting it affect your game, just see one go down to the line.
Yeah, we haven't seen his ability to put the ball on the floor and get to the rim as much lately. He's been falling in love with the shot, hasn't been going down. Time to use that shot fake, get on his right hand. He's so explosive for a big fella and really nimble to be able to get to the rim. So find some easy ones.
Well, and I can't speak to it too much, Randy, but you can. But just seeing that as a shooter and someone who he shot the ball well his rookie year, what kind of is that going to do for him now, though? If that's in the first minute of the game, he's in a different mindset.
Yeah, it is. And free throws are a great place unless you miss 2 of them like, yeah, man, over here has jinxed everybody. But that's a tough finish.
Usher gets it to go, and he'll go to the line to add the bonus.
But just getting to the free throw line, finding your shot, finding a little bit of confidence, just see the ball go through the hole, knowing that there's no lid on it, that it does still go in. And that is a, through traffic, tough finish there.
He's coming in ultra aggressive, Jordan Usher. Had 35 points opening night.
Stomping around the joint, yelling. He was all kinds of fun on that opening night.
And again, he was brought in, he was very high on saying that he was going to win Defensive Player of the Year in terms of that was his goal, and he prided himself on shutting down the opposition's best player. And I kind of think that 35.9 took that mindset that threw it to the back of his brain, because then he thought, okay, I can be an offensive talent. And we saw he can still knock down the three, he can do things like that. But when you've got a team like Bryce Cotton, Keanu Pinder, it's like they need what you could do on an elite level if you lock up. And I think he completely went away from locking in on the defensive end, and then everything fell away for Perth, especially in that starting unit.
Bryce Cotton uses all of the available time to get the ball over midcourt. 4-point game, couple of possessions left in this opening half. Armstrong charge of the defensive role on Cotton.
No worse place to be than up top on an island versus Cotton. Oh, as he takes a tough ball.
Comes flying downhill, and he got up pretty heated there for a second, did Bryce Cotton.
He was. I think it was at that. I think it was at that was, or ran right, just coming in. Bobby Clement late. It was that one right there. He wasn't happy with. Bobby Clement does have a tendency to take attempt to take a lot of charges. That's something I've noticed in his game. He slides his feet, he tries to get there. He was obviously a second late there. But I'd love to see his athleticism going up and trying to wall up, and he gets some big blocks, but it's those ones where you try to do the team thing. You try and get everybody to take the charge, but he's so long, he's so athletic that if he just goes up, he's going to alter a lot more shots than charges taken, I reckon.
That's a great point, because he does have great length, great athleticism, and great timing as well with blocking shots. But even if you just go straight up, make Cotton or whoever it is try and finish over him, it makes it a very difficult shot.
So you go back through all season, and he's probably attempted to take multiple charges every game, and he's taken a couple, but he is often late like that. Those are the ones where you just want to use your length and athleticism, make Bryce Cotton have to make a miraculous shot, which he's probably going to do. But at least that's something you can kind of get as a tendency.
Let us unathletic blokes sit here try and take charges. You don't meet him at the rim.
Cotton checks out of the game with 16 first half points. Last possession of the half here for the Snakes. Miller gets all the way inside and lays it in. Will Cairns get another look? Usher from midcourt. That won't go. And we get to half-time with the Wildcats up by 4, having led by 5 at quarter time. It went back and forth in that second period. And the Wildcats lead 47-43 at the half. In what's been a really entertaining game. It's been physical. There's been plenty of chat out there. It's been fiery between these two sides in the jungle. Perth lead by 4. Let's get courtside. Damian Martin has got Bryce Cotton.
Yeah, I'm here with Bryce. How are you enjoying the first 20 minutes, mate? Is it a bit physical out there?
No, I don't think so. How's it look to you guys?
I think they've done a great job so far. The turnovers, though, in all seriousness, both teams are a bit sloppy with the ball. What do you think John Riley's message will be to you?
Just stay composed. Obviously, it's going to be a physical game all the way through. And sometimes you got to win ugly, but it's a good testament to see what our character is about. But it's all about staying in control and not letting our mental get the best of us.
Best of luck in the second half.
That's the last thing Bryce Cotton needed, was Damian Martin pushing him around after Bull Quoll spent the whole first half doing it. Entertaining stuff. Wildcats by 4. We'll break it all down next.
Bunnings is backing the next generation of ballers. I'm here with Campbell Blogg and Brad Newley, and we're at the Sandringham Sabres. We're going to surprise them with some tickets to a Melbourne United game. Come on, let's roll.
What up?
Well, you're the next generation of ballers, and Bunnings is backing you guys, so we're here to tell you that we're giving you all tickets to come to a Melbourne United game. Sound good? For Bunnings to be here backing the next generation of ballers, it's amazing. It helps us get out to more kids and to hopefully get more kids into the NBL.
We came up through East Perth and junior comps together. We'd done an under-20s national team. We just had our first summer league together as well, and you know, it was the perfect timing of where we were at in both our careers. Him becoming available in Cairns, with me looking to restructure a few things with the lineup in Cairns, and it was just a match made in heaven. You know, our personal bond's always been separate to basketball, and that's obviously what I felt like helped us be genuine in our approach with how we went about it. You know, those things I expected and demand that he was able to deliver for us, because he knew everything I did for him came from a genuine place of support and love, and it wasn't me just trying to have a transactional type relationship with him as player coach. But you know, I wanted him to be in the NBA and represent the Australian national team. And you know, day one we did goal setting. I still have the PowerPoint. People would have laughed us out of the room when he had national team, NBA, and most improved. And he went and was at a World Cup camp for the Australian team, making the 18. You know, he was on a summer league roster, and you know, his potential now to be an MVP candidate again this year. It's cool, it's remarkable, it's 2 years, and if anything, you know, what we've been able to do in the last 2 years in Cairns is just solidified our relationship even more, and we're going to be old men talking about the glory years.
Adam Ford talking about Keanu Pinder, so long a part of things in Cairns. He's on the other side of things tonight for the Perth Wildcats, and they lead by 4 points at halftime in the jungle. Nice little chat between Adam Ford there. It means a lot to him, clearly, that relationship between the two of them.
Oh, it's the way he coaches all his players, and again, he's built something very special in Cairns. I can see him in Cairns for a very long time for that reason, and I know they lost Keanu Pinder, but to be able to see his growth in 2 years and what the growth they've got coming through in this team right now, it's a really exciting time. So there's a lot of credit to what Adam Ford's built as a coach.
Let's take a look at our Hungry Jacks halftime highlights. Rowdy, it's been a really physical game, highlighted mostly by that Quoll-Cotton matchup. Bryce has had to really battle his way through that.
He has, and it has been extra physical, a lot of chatting with the referees, but Cotton's been Cotton. He's starting to find his rhythm last few games. Obviously coming out and fire, hitting some shots tonight, and getting to the free throw line. He's already got 9 free throws up. Getting fouled on those threes. Every scouting report says don't foul Bryce Cotton on his three-pointer. He gets it every time. As we look at the Blackmore shot chart, 16 in the first half, 9 of 9 from the free throw line. He's just looking in rhythm. Bull Quoll's trying to be aggressive, take him out of his game, but he just looks comfortable.
A big part of it is that 9 of 9 at the free throw line too, Pete.
Yeah, it is. And again, he had that first foul, which is maybe questionable in the first quarter, but then Jim McCall fouled him and he knew that. That's why he was laughing. So he's a tough man to keep down. But that second foul from Bull Quoll to start the second quarter, we put the hand in the cookie jar. He didn't match up on him again in the second quarter, and then Bryce went off.
So that's the other side of it, is the Bull Quoll side of it. He's had a nice offensive night. Did find himself in a little bit of foul trouble, though.
And then he kind of went into his shell. And again, we don't often say that. He normally plays at such a high level and such a physical level all the time. And yes, he's only got the 2 fouls. And I think that half the reason why we didn't see him go back to Bryce Cotton is that Ford wants him to play this last 20 minutes at full strength and trying to limit Bryce's impact. But this is what I'm here for. The offensive evolution has been enormous. He's averaging 15 points per game, and he's just so fun to watch when he's in this offensive mindset. And he's getting a type of Kawhi Leonard vibe about him, the way he plays. And we know he's an exceptional defender. He's very physical like that. But that offensive style, the mid-range, I'm here for the comparison.
I like it. I think Bull Quoll would like it. I think Adam Ford would like it. I think the Cairns fans would love that. You hear Bull Quoll compared to Kawhi Leonard. It's half-time in the jungle. Perth lead it by 4, 47-43. Big coming, second half is coming up next. First leg of a Thursday night doubleheader went off with a bang, and the second leg is delivering as well. In the West at RAC Arena, the Snakes have come into the jungle. They are taking it up to the Wildcats at halftime, 47-43. The Stars are out in Perth. There's the Doyen, Dennis Cometti, sitting courtside. Takes in a lot of Wildcats basketball. A couple of the West Coast Eagles, Jamie Cripps, Oscar Allen, Liam Duggan sitting there. We've seen Jeremy McGovern, Luke Shuey's there as well, Norm Smith medalist, former captain of the Eagles. Enjoying things in the West this evening, and I'd say the Wildcats fans that they are sitting amongst would also be enjoying things. Rowdy, up by 4 at the half.
Yeah, it's been an entertaining back and forth game, and the Red Army have turned out like they always do. But it's going to be a nail-biter, this game. I think neither team has really been able to gain the ascendancy and build a big lead, but I don't know. I just want to watch Cotton and Qual go at it.
I'm here for the mini-cat. I'm at the little picture-in-picture. I think you could have a game at 9 a.m. on a Monday morning in Perth. There'd be 10,000 people there. they don't not turn out for anything.
Several West Coast Eagles players would be there as well, I reckon. Love their basketball in the West. It is such a great atmosphere in the building as well. There's every single game.
And there's the third foul.
Yep.
On ball Qual. 13 seconds in to this third quarter. He had the second foul in the first 30 seconds. Have another look at it here, the bottom of your screen.
I think it was for the kind of hooking of Cotton's hand.
Yeah.
You want just to let that one play through?
Well, if that's it, then I'm okay. If it's the little bump on Ty Webster, I'm not okay. I don't think that's the one that needs to be called. But
here's Webster going with some bumps of his own. Harris cleans it up.
But again, because Qual didn't guard Bryce Cott for 9 minutes of that second quarter, now it looks like he's trying to flick a switch, and the physicality is much more obvious and it's magnified.
Byron Harris, 6 and 4, just continues to do nice things in that starting lineup for John Riley. Wardenberg thought about the 3. Qual will do more than think about it.
I want to see Perth trying to get Counter Pinder involved. Just 2 points, he's got 1 rebound.
Right on cue. He's been shooting the 3-ball well this season as well. This Keanu Pinder, not a great volume, but certainly good efficiency. Webster steps into the mid-range jump shot. Foul underneath, and his ball Qual picked up a 4.
No, I think that's on Taron Armstrong. That's on Taron Armstrong, but you hear on a hook for Hiram Harris. And that's what Hiram Harris is going to do. He's just going to put himself in a position where if he doesn't get the offensive rebound, it's either going to bounce around and maybe go to a Perth player, or he's going to get a foul called.
He's just going to keep you honest. He's going to go to the offensive rebounds. He's going to be in the right position. He's going to do all little things. And sometimes that just leads to either some cheap, easy offensive boards or fouls called.
Cotton works on Wardenberg, kicks it to Pinder in the corner.
It might not look like much, but that's just a really good awareness from Sam Wardenberg, just to sit on that high side of Bryce Cotton. And basically, it sounds like a selfish style, but he's saying, just get past me. I've got help, just get past me. I don't want to foul you on a 3. I don't want to get you on a step back. Just go past me. Someone else's issue after that.
Miller takes a lick from Pinder. And Pinder's caught for the offensive foul. Exactly need to tell you what the Perth crowd think about that. Draw your own conclusions from the Red Army's reaction.
I'm not going to be willing to go out and say that Pat Miller's the fault, because it takes some serious strength to knock around Pat Miller.
Here's Cotton working on Qual. Pinder passes it up. Cotton. That won't go. 16 in that first half for Cotton. He's 3 of 8 from the field. Beautiful feed. Armstrong and Miller can't finish. So like it was in the second, it's a slow start offensively to this third period. Neither side's been able to get a clear break all evening. Swing pass from Pinder. Webster tries to back down. Miller on the block. Makes his way to the hoop, and the points will count.
Cheeky little flex as well. Probably wouldn't do that too many times against Pat Miller. Pat Miller, but great use of the body here. For some reason, he seems to have put the 3-point shot away. He's trying to attack even off the open 3s, and Just one of those plays that Pat Miller would want back, just to keep his hands out, keep his body in front.
He's struggled to shoot the three consistently for a while now, Ty Webster, and I think by putting it away, unless it's the real wide open one, he's been able to find this niche to craft out in the starting lineup of just going to be really tough-nosed defensively. I'm going to try and get out on the break. I'm going to be an elite screener and cutter. And it's been helping the Wildcats succeed.
3 of 7 at the line tonight. Hasn't attempted a three. He's 4 of 20 from downtown on the season. And he's here to provide some energy and win the ball back for the Wildcats, and the bench love it. Webster providing the spark to start this second half.
With all the switching that's going on, the Wildcats are really targeting Taron Armstrong. And Hiram Harris having to guard him at one point at England. That's a layup. And there's going to be a quick timeout here from Adam Ford. If you've got Bryce Cotton, dangerous times.
It is
dangerous times.
You cannot give him that. See the Harvey Norman replay.
It's Ty Webster just coming across. Looking the turnover. Brent Army's up and about. The team's up and about. And right here, Bryce Cotton just loses ball qual, rises up. And if Bryce starts talking, watch out.
Bryce is talking, Bryce is listening. And the crowd are giving him what he wants. So 10-point lead at the snooze timeout. Wildcats have opened it up. Bryce Cotton's found his shot after that win last time out against New Zealand. He spoke at the press conference about some tweaks that he's made to his shot.
I don't believe in coincidences. So I can't give away my secrets. Once I'm done playing, I'll give it away. But I've done enough talking. Did I notice something? Yes, I noticed something with my shooting and had a minor tweak to it, yeah.
So how hard would that be, Rowdy, for someone whose shooting form is as dialed in as Bryce Cotton's is over such a long period of time to A, spot that and then B, change it?
Oh, I think most of it would have been just mindset and in his head. Probably just getting a few different looks, making sure he's staying as compact and as simple as possible in his shooting form. And whatever he's done, it's worked. That's all that matters. I think we've all got confidence in Bryce Cotton to shoot the ball, and he just was lacking that. And he's just flicked that switch that only he can.
And he's not a big spot-up shooter. He likes to have the ball in his hands, whether it's a step back or the way he likes to kind of lull the defense to sleep and then rise up.
Miller collects his own miss. Wardenberg's put the three ball away. Armstrong hasn't. He's fouled.
And you can tell, originally Hiram Harris didn't like the call, but if he's not barking for a challenge, then you know you've got a piece. Taron Armstrong going to the line. Has had his struggles. Just 1 of 2 tonight, but 57% on the season. Again, came back probably a little too early from that ankle injury, and you could see that it was affecting him not so much from the physical standpoint, but mentally as well. When you're a rookie, you're still incredibly young. You just came back from college, left after a sophomore season, and you're just trying to grind through it, and you end up feeling like quicksand because you're just fighting so hard, you're working so hard, and things aren't working out the way you initially intended. Can be tough to get through.
First score of the second half for the Snakes. And he would have felt some pressure to impress as well, to try and come back to deliver on that potential, and when the team was undermanned too.
Yeah, when injuries hit, you obviously feel a sense of pressure to come back maybe a little bit early, and obviously had some high hopes for the season, high raps coming into the season as well as a prospect and local player who's got all the tools to go on to the highest level. So it's a lot for a young man to kind of take on and go into a new environment. But he'll get better. He'll get his feet under him. He'll adjust to the NBL game, and he's going to be starting future.
There's plenty of time. He's got 20 games left, including tonight. So he's going to have lots of time to get up to speed. Is Taron Armstrong. Miller can't hit. They've just got the 2 points so far in this term, and they've both come at the free throw line.
I don't like this style right now for Cairns, the tempo that they're playing at. It's very half-court, very slow. They like to get out and push the transition, push the pace, get up early shots just like this. You get some easy ones to kind of get themselves going. And defensively, they haven't been able to get as many stops, haven't been able to get any steals, clear defensive rebounds to be able to get out and run. So look for them to try and pick up the pace of this game.
Pat Miller's ability to stop on a dime just before, instead of running into Bryce Cotton shooting the three, was exceptional.
Adam Ford wanted the call on Pinder. Thought he walked, and Pinder walked all the way to the cup.
It was close. He really had a good look at that three ball, did Keanu Pinder.
A call on the other end is fouled.
It wasn't that. Adam Ford is just not happy on that sideline. The whole Cairns bench was up.
And of course, he did get a tech in that first half, Adam Ford, so he's got to be a little bit careful.
Another look at it here. It's like all fighting over.
Hey, 2 shots, fellas. Here we go, 2.
You see Adam Ford there. Sideline, we're just out of view. It might have been legal. It looks okay.
Hard to tell from that angle, hard to tell.
He was vociferous in his appeal to the referees.
Okay, Damo.
Got a dictionary?
Damo, where's the English teacher? Damo, please, I want the definition. Use it in a sentence and not the same sentence.
It's valid.
Could you give me its origin, please?
Early English, maybe Latin. It was vociferous or apoplectic.
Oh my!
I wasn't sure which one to go with. Cats by 6. Joel Peterson, Ryan Brockhoff, Pete Hawley, Damien Martin with you. Second leg of a Thursday night doubleheader in the West. Earlier tonight, New Zealand getting the job done. A much-needed win over the Tassie Jack Jumpers in Launceston at the Silverdome. Miller comes up with an air ball. Gap keeps it alive for the Snakes. What can he find on the offensive end? Not a lot. Miller tried to clean it up and still couldn't finish.
Yeah, it was an ugly offensive possession. 2 tough shots. Didn't even hit the ring on 2 of them. Great pass. He's got eyes in the back of his head. Cotton drawing 2, dropping it off the side, finishes. But this lineup with Cairns is a kind of sloppy turnover. They lack a little bit of outside shooting. Pat Miller, Tajima Call, Armstrong, not known for their outside shooting. Perth are just clogging it up, making them beat them from outside.
And we see Taran Armstrong come off by now. We just mentioned his struggles early in the season. Damo, you're a legend of this league, you're a legend of Australian basketball. With everything that Taran Armstrong's had to go through, we know the injury, but all the media, all the hype, and how he started the season, what advice would you give him from a veteran standpoint? Because he's still so early in his career, and I think a lot of people forget that he's still a kid.
He's exactly that. You just want to make sure that those in his inner sanctum are reiterating that he's young, keep working on a daily basis, and make sure you're not listening to any external noise, because the reality is he was having a hell of a college career. He decided he wanted to come back to the NBL, turn professional, and he is going to be a star of this league in years to come. But you can't fast-track, basketball IQ. You can't fast-track experience playing against men who've been out there and done it for a number of years. I mean, Jesse Wagstaff is about 12, 15 years older than him, and you see the big plays that a veteran can make. That's something that Armstrong will pick up sooner rather than later. He's also playing the hardest position on the floor, where he's got to understand the strengths and weaknesses of his teammates, but then also adapt to the strengths and weaknesses of a whole new style of play, where he's not necessarily the man with the ball in his hands. He's got a role to play. He'll play it really well in years to come. I've got no doubt he's going to be a star.
Yeah, it's well said, and it's incredible to think. So we played 2 years at Cal Baptist University, and Adam Ford wasn't even thinking of signing him until he watched an interview, I think it was on YouTube, from his brother Trey Armstrong, and was talking to Trey about his career and his plans. And at the very end, he kind of said, yeah, I think Taran's thinking of moving on from Cal Baptist, whether that's pro or another Division 1 team. And Adam Ford picked up the phone and said, this is what I want. This is what I want for the future. And just to think about how deep you are into YouTube from there. If you're 40 in the off-season, and it changed the whole recruiting process, and he made a few phone calls, and then Taran Armstrong had the choice: do I go to a bigger Division 1 school and transfer up, or do I turn pro and come back to Australia? So it's a fascinating story all around.
Fascinating story. Just down the rabbit hole on YouTube. We've all been there, haven't we?
A couple of gold buzzers, that's where I'm at.
Oh, my goodness.
Gack with the rack attack. Big punch from AK Gack. And that came a little bit out of nowhere.
Bought your gack stock yet, Rowdy?
I'm looking. I'm just about to. That was an impressive finish. How quickly he got off the ground and punched it down.
Here's Cotton outside, foul underneath.
If you're a volunteer, have another look at this. Okay, Gack, it's just so springy. You're right, just gets up so quick and just puts it down on a potential #1 pick. Around on...
in the
vicinity of... If you are a volunteer floor wiper and you're at RSC Arena right now, and you know Cairns are coming to town, between Jesse Wagstaff and Tajima McCall, you should be, whatever you're given as, whether it's a food, you should be given triple. But they are on the floor 10 times more than any other player, and they're in the same game, and you're like, geez, I'm out there wiping the floor.
And we know that Keanu Pinder has a history of making the floor wipers a little bit nervous as well and chasing them down in the open court.
The lane.
So the floor wipers earning their biggies tonight, that is for sure. Much like you two on the second leg of a doubleheader. Oh, Usher with a clean take all the way through.
That's when he's at his best. Straight line drives, getting on the rim, not forcing things, just letting the offense come to him, but see that gap, just attack it strong to his right hand. And Pete, is that another one? Was that one?
Get those mops out there.
Control C, Control V. Copy and paste. We're going to go the free throw on here because they're in the bonus, and the Red Army didn't like it. Let's have another look at it. These two are...
Play between the
what
two.
you can't do is just give away burgers in this situation.
Yep. So misses the first. And this Wildcats crowd, they're hungry. They will not be fed on this occasion. 59-53. Cotton makes his way around the court. He's out there at the moment with Wagstaff, Usher, Doolittle and Saar for the Wildcats. Defended by McCall. Saar for three. That'll go!
Been a bit quiet tonight, but hopefully that gets him going. Just versatility. Can do it all inside and out. 7'1", shoot the three ball. Nice, clean stroke. Hopefully we see a little bit more engagement from him in tonight's game, a little bit more involvement on the offensive end.
And a lot of people look at, obviously, it comes in the, whatever mock draft is on, and the #1 pick, #2 pick, and all that is Emenenga tries to score sheet. That's no good. But what scouts want to see is the shot, does it look good? Yes, it looks good. You consistently knock down a couple, that's great. As Doolittle tries to hit another one, that's no good. But you take your opportunities. You're not going to come out and score 15 and have 7 every single night. You're going to have your nights, which we've seen from him. He's altered shots, and if he improves over the course of the season with all the potential he has and all the flashes he's shown, that right there, that's why he's a potential #1 pick. Because you package it all together. He's not going to be Victor Wembanyama. He's going to be Alex Saar, and however long that future takes in the NBA, he's destined for a huge career in that league because he has all the package.
All the potential in the world, all the skills, and as he gets more accustomed, you'll see more consistency from him. But it's just like we're talking about all the other players. They're still kids, and we're putting so much pressure and putting them under the microscope at such a young age, but they're just kids with so much promise, and he's got as bright a future as anybody.
Wildcats by 9, it's an equal game high lead. Usher just walks into a mid-range shot that didn't go all that well. Minute and a half left in this third period. Really sure what more to say about that. Menenga from straight away.
I'll tell you what, it's not as far back, but he's got a bit of Michael Red about that.
I was just thinking
he's got a bit of Michael Red about the sling, the lefty sling. For all my Michael Red Milwaukee Bucks fans out there, the way that the left-handed shooter used to sling it, it doesn't go as far back, but not a whole lot of jump. It's real Michael Reddish.
I was wondering who you're going to compare it to, and that's the name that came to mind for whatever reason. The Michael Red, who was a phenomenal scorer and shooter.
I had a Michael Red jersey, so that's what that was. I was a big fan.
Michael Red was my player of choice in like NBA.
That's it.
NBA PlayStation 2 games like 2004, 2005.
Yeah, you'd go with Bogues and him and.
Yeah. Oh, Mayan runs his way inside.
Well, there's been a lot of non-contact called, but that one to be let go out of everything else that's been called.
Half a minute remaining in this third period. Cats by 6. Saar again from outside. That one won't hit, but Doolittle keeps it alive. And finds Saar underneath, who hammers it home. And he just keeps putting exclamation points on his potential.
Little purple patch, just finding ways to impact the game, both ends of the floor. Stayed with it after missing the 3. Made a real strong cut and just his ability to finish around the rim.
And as we keep saying, he's going to continue to get better throughout his whole career, no doubt. But I don't think NBA scouts want to see is how do you deal with adversity? If you haven't had a good game for a couple, how do you bounce back? So these little peaks and troughs are all part of being a youngster and being in this kind of program. We're not going to have every single next star come out here and put up LaMelo Ball or Josh Giddey type numbers. They're anomalies. That's just not what the program's about. So that's why Alex Saar, you see as a potential #1 pick, this is exactly why. Because he's already shown these glimpses over and over, and that's all he has to do.
Oh, Zunic into the game for the Wildcats. His first action of the season. Getting a little bit of run here for John Riley. Miller almost lost it. May in the 3. That won't go. Doolittle the rebound. Foul on the play. Ooh. That's a tee for Lat Mayen, I think.
Well, looked like he was going again.
He's lucky not to be tossed out of the game after the carry on afterwards, but obviously thought there was contact on the shot.
He's not happy at all, is he?
No, he's not. We're going to have to have a look at the replay, but
yeah, he was
to carry on like that.
And again, you're right, it got teed up and went again, so he was really unhappy and surprised it wasn't potentially an early shower for Lat Mayen.
That's his spot, okay, he can't run.
So Usher makes a count. 1.9 here for the Wildcats. Cotton will heave it from half court. Oh, it won't go, but boy, it was close. That's as close as you'll go from Bryce Cotton. And at 3/4 time, the Wildcats have broken clear of the Snakes. They lead it by 10. Three-quarter time in the jungle, and Perth's broken out to a game-high 10-point lead. The Snakes got it back to 5 in that third term. Perth led by 4 at half-time, but a little offensive showcase toward the end of the quarter. Bryce Cotton likes what he's hearing from the Red Army. A couple of big plays from AK Gack. And Alex Saar's really shown his stuff with a block and a 3. And it is Perth 66-56 as we turn for home in the second leg of a Thursday night doubleheader to start round 8 in the Hungry Jacks NBL. As McCall goes straight to work. Joel Peterson, Ryan Brockhoff, Pete Hawley with you. Damian Martin is courtside. Those floor wipers are back out there, Rowdy.
They are. He's so good at drawing fouls, and he gets a call 90% of the time. Now he needs to go to the free throw line, convert, get this fourth quarter off to a good start.
16 of 23 at the stripe tonight.
McCall's 60%. 5 of 9 in this game, 60% on the season.
So they get there more than anyone, the Snakes, and they shoot it worse than anyone. They're 69% on the season so far. Second of 2 will go. What gets them back into the game here, Cairns?
Just the tempo of getting out, causing turnovers, causing disruptions, getting out in transition, finding some easy buckets.
Michael Harris outside.
That and offensive execution. I think at times in that third quarter it was all over the shop. And obviously getting to the free throw line and knocking him down is going to help. But they just need to stick with the process and, again, get some really good looks, because there's been times with certain lineups where they haven't got really great looks. That right there is perfect. There's ball movement, side-to-side player movement. Jim McCall can walk into basically a layup, a little floater from below the free throw line.
And they've been good defensively. Look at the Cotton shooting numbers from the field, 4 of 14, 1 of 6 from 3. We spoke about limiting him as Usher makes a tough finish, gets to the rim. They've been able to limit him and limit his effectiveness, and he hasn't shot the ball well. 9 of 9 free throws is what set him apart, but overall you'd be pretty happy with those shooting numbers. But how can they find enough points to run over the top of Perth? And that is how you do it.
Yeah, 42% on the season. He is just lights out. NBL24. 9 points now for Latman. 3 of 5 on the night from 3.
That's what they need. Here's Harris outside again for the Cats. He can't hit. Miller in the open floor. Just tosses it upfield for McCall. Oh, trouble. And he couldn't keep it in play. He stepped out the back of the end zone.
Had a couple of those now.
Just sloppy. Looks like they should have an easy layup with just a solid pass, and one's gone out of bounds. One right there had to be saved, and
it's a 4-point game.
It is.
I had that a couple of times. It could be even closer, but right now, this whole game up until this point looks like a team that hasn't practiced together a whole lot with full belt health. It's just inevitable as Bryce Cotton gets open, dodge a bullet on that one.
Positive thing is, though, that they're doing enough to still hang around.
Well, that's just the nature of their style of play. They seem to always get enough stops, and they can get some good looks. They just always flick a switch and go on this little run.
Wardenberg uncorks the 3 and splashes it in. Sam Wardenberg started 0 of 4 from downtown. He hits, and all of a sudden, it's a 3-point game.
Well, you hit those 2 layups that they've thrown out of bounds, and they're in front, but Sam Wardenberg, he looked unbelievably reluctant to shoot since that first quarter. He could have taken that 3 at any moment, but again, he waited a couple of times down the floor and set his feet, and he kind of had no choice the way the counter-pinder was playing him, and that's going to feel real good. 7 points now, just a couple of rebounds, a couple of assists, and good timeout from John Riley. Nice and early to try and stem the momentum. This is a momentum team, the Taipans. If they get up and about, they can go on a run and rattle off 15 points real quick.
So 68-65. Wildcats led by 4. It hasn't been this close in the entirety of the second half so far. And led by 10 at 3-quarter time. The Snakes have started to charge that down. So John Riley wanted to talk it over with his team at the timeout. You see the Harvey Norman replay of the Snakes and Sam Wardenberg getting going to start this final term.
Yeah, huge for his confidence. just looked reluctant that whole possession to get the three-pointer up, but that one you have to take. You're in rhythm, you're wide open, great for his confidence. Hopefully gets it going.
Let's go courtside. Damian Martin, who listened in to Adam Ford at that timeout.
Yeah, I found it really interesting that Ford, he told his players first and foremost, hey, you've got about 90 seconds together as a group, and then I'm going to bring Bull Cole in, and then I'm going to try and get all of you a breather quickly. But essentially, he's incentivizing his players to go really hard for the next 90 seconds. He's going to rotate some subs, go out there and back yourself. Offensively, he wants to see more ball movement, and then if you're open, don't be afraid to take the open one.
Mayan can't hit. It's almost the all-M lineup for the Taipans. McCall, Miller, Menenga, Mayan and Sam Wardenberg. The upside down end.
Just flip it.
Here's Cotton. Beautiful move from Bryce Cotton.
20 points now, Bryce. 5 of 16. He's had to work for it. He's just 1 of 7 from 3. He's been fouled on 2 of those. Michael Red tees one up.
Watch out, Ty! Cotton with his 4th 20-point performance in a row, coming off 37 last time out. He's going to go straight back into his hands, up by 5. Gets inside, and a foul on the play.
I also like that Sam Menenga continues to shoot that. He had I think it was his junior year at Davidson where he shot 44% from 3. So he's definitely got that capability. If he continues just to, you take 2 or 3 a game. If you knock down 1, take 2 or 3 a game and really stretch the defense, then once this lineup gets familiar with each other, they're going to be really potent on the offensive end because the execution hasn't been there tonight, let's be clear.
You're the master of these numbers. Is that better or worse than Derek Rucker?
No, Rucker had, I think it was 48 or 49% on 150 attempts.
Greatest shooter to come out of that school, I've heard.
Well, technically, yes. I mean, Steph Curry never had a 49% from 3 on 150 attempts. Steph had 3 times as many of that. I think it was the first year the three-point line came in. So Ruck must have just, who knows, he could actually go out and say that he had shot 80% the year before and no one would know.
Leaving to Ruck if he's listening, or Menenga and Mayan just have a little bit of a miscommunication.
Yeah, that's the execution and familiarity that we've been talking about. Just a bit sloppy, and Bull Calls come straight back on, straight to Cotton. Cotton's made a few plays the last couple of possessions. Get our man back on him. Try and make it as difficult as possible. Find someone else. Make someone else beat you.
First action of this final period. Webster can't hit, and Bryce Cotton was right in there trying to get that one to go. So 7-point lead for the Wildcats. Snakes had it back at 3. Haven't scored out of that timeout. And another turnover. Cotton flings it to Doolittle, who lays it in and will go to the line for 1 more.
He's a real no-fuss guy, is he, Doolittle? No emotion there. Just plays defense on one end. Gets the board. Gets out and run. He's got 8 rebounds. 7 points now on the night. Quick timeout here from Adam Ford. It's been a masterstroke to move him to the 3 in that starting lineup because just those first few games, he looked lost. And he obviously coming into a team halfway through is hard to adapt to, but right now he is a glue guy and he's so important to Perth's success.
I mean, it's interesting the position John really was in where he was under a lot of pressure, so he had to make change. But the hard part about making change is making the right changes. He's not playing Corey Webster. We haven't seen Corey Webster at all tonight. We can see him there on the bench, staying engaged in the game, but moving Doolittle to the 3, bringing Hiram Harris into the starting lineup. The levers that he's pulled have worked.
They have, and look, we saw it a little bit last year from him as well, making changes and difficult changes that from the outside maybe we question, but the results have been there the last few games. We'll see if it continues. Corey Webster will get his opportunity at some point, but it's just worked. The flow, the balance between offense and defense and blue-collar guys has been there now that Perth look like a more functional unit.
Yeah, that starting lineup. So even Ty Webster, to a degree, he was kind of attacking on the offensive end a lot more. Jordan Usher was in that starting lineup, and then Doolittle was just like, well, I'm getting lost here as well. And
Jeremy McGovern sitting courtside. West Coast Eagles champion. Talented sporting family from down south in WA.
So when you've got guys like, okay, Ty Webster, he's obviously changed his mindset completely. You see the way he's playing. He's being super effective, and then you're bringing in all these other pieces. You kind of went away from, hey, hang on, we've got one of the greatest of all time that we're supposed to be running everything through, and we've just brought in in previous years an MVP candidate in Count and Pinder, who's now a bit lost on that end. It's more simplified, and it's been that way, and that's why they're getting wins. And they're not just getting wins, they're doing it at a high rate.
So 7-0 run to restore that equal game high 10-point spread. They wanted a walk on Miller. Referees didn't agree. Wardenberg gets inside, can't hit. Wagstaff the rebound. Ty Webster surveys the defense. There's 7 on the shot clock for the Wildcats. Doolittle.
Great defensive possession, that one. Just stayed in front of everyone, made him finish over the top. And I think they've got him an offensive foul, actually. I thought they were going to get him for the trouble after they missed the last one.
Let's call on Sam Wardenberg. He doesn't like it at all. Don't forget what the challenge was burnt on. Let's have another look at it here.
16 turnovers now, Pete.
And that feeling the bicep of Bryce Cotton is why that one was called.
He's been working on it. Beach season's approaching.
Just have a little flex, a little.
Ty Webster, Doolittle, Cotton, Wagstaff and Pinder out there for the Wildcats. Wagstaff thought about the three, puts it on the floor. That time Pinder did walk.
Now that is great defense from AK Gak. The way that you stay down, normally when you see Keanu Pinder spin back but kind of stay in the same spot, he's going to rise up for a hook shot, and a lot of players will then leave their feet and then he will just walk into him and go to the free throw line. He stayed down, and that's just a player trusting his length. He knows that if he just stays down and puts his arms up and Keanu Pinder shoots and makes it, what more can he do?
Paul was defended well on that possession. Ken Widgeon says it'll stay a Snakes ball. 75-65. Seeing your screen, they've lost every game outside of Queensland so far this season, the Snakes. Here's Miller going to work. And hits. Needed that bucket.
Laser beam, that is
dart about it, isn't it?
Zero arc on it.
That'll be accurate. Luckily it was a bullseye from Patrick Miller. Ty Webster looks for Cotton. Comes back to Webster, now to Wagstaff. The veteran in the corner knocks it down and gives Perth a game-high lead.
It's happened a couple of times now where they're over-closing out to Ty Webster, and it happened in the corner of the possession before. Ty Webster has not looked to shoot a three, even if he's been open. So if you close out short, you allow Sam Wardenberg to stay home to Jesse Wagstaff. He's the more potent three-point shooter. It's just those breakdowns on the defensive end. Ty Webster, if he knocks one down, the way he's been looking, he doesn't even want to attempt a three. You don't want to pick, you have to pick your poison. Don't let Jesse Wagstaff get his feet set and just line one up.
McCall earns a call inside. Keanu Pinder can't quite believe it. Jesse Wagstaff getting his team back on the same page.
Red Army might have just seen that replay.
Not sure they've seen too many replays that they like when they're in that situation.
Well, that's a good call. Weirdly enough, did you recall, he actually is pretty good at making that floater, running off the long legs, falling away. Oh, we've got a put back wedgie.
I see that every day. So just one of two. That makes it 18 of 27 at the stripe tonight.
10-point game, 9 missed free throws. As Damien has already made us very well aware, I'm not great at my maths, but that would make it only a 1-point game if they made those.
I can verify your maths checks out there, Rowdy.
I had to write it down.
Got the abacus out.
I had it. I was counting across. I
got the calculator app on the phone.
I had Pete Hooley double-check my work between us.
We have to, otherwise Mr. Martin is all over us.
Show your workings, boys. Show your workings. Put it in the margins. Here's Ty Webster at the line. Now he's 3 of 7 tonight from here.
4 of 8. Tempting fate, isn't he?
He's having a laugh. He's having fun out there.
He is such a character. Ty Webster. He's talking to Tajima McCall as he's shooting a free throw, and that's usually what happens when you're not locked in.
I thought he was going to close his eyes and do the old MJ talking, close the eyes.
Imagine that you're 4 of 8 from the line.
Eyes on the front.
If anyone was going to do it, it would be Ty Webster.
Here's Miller on the offensive end for the Taipans. Outside to Qualt. Offensive foul.
That comes because Bryce Cotton is fighting so hard over those screens that Tajima McCall just has a little bit extra of a glute movement, and that's what happens when you get an offensive foul call.
So 79-68, 3:23 remaining. Let's go courtside to Damien Martin.
Yeah, Rowdy, very proud of you, mate. Don't you ever forget that D's get degrees. And I shouldn't, criticised whatsoever because year 6 was the best 2 years of my life. But I want you to pay attention to the movement off the ball from Jesse Wagstaff, the amount of screens he's trying to set for Bryce Cotton. It's been a physical game, and I think the savvy vet has been sent out there to try and give a bit of space and a bit of freedom to BC in these last couple of minutes.
Next Dano just rolling them all out there. Wagstaff hits the floor and the court wipers are back in action. They're going to be in the rehab room tomorrow for some sore shoulders.
The floor wipers?
Yes,
absolutely.
Wagstaff playing tonight. 17 minutes, 5 points, handful of rebounds, but we know what he brings. This is why the Wildcats wanted to see more of him.
Yeah, he's always, he's been a player who's put up stats and points before, but his role right now, as his family is in town, obviously he lives here, family's at the game, I should say. It's been a long night, everybody. But his impact doesn't show on the stats.
Jeez, I'm glad the Wagstaff family flew in. They got a FIFO agreement. Just fly in, fly out for the legend of the club.
Here is Wagstaff. Oh, he flies to the hoop! Good thing his family's in town to see that, Rowdy.
I'm not letting that one down quickly, am I?
Perth by 11, just over 2.5 remaining. AK Gack with the extension, just can't hit.
Well, this is normally when Bryce likes to just put a nail in it.
He's matched up with Sam Wardenberg. Little step to Webster in the corner. Rattles around.
Oh, no.
Back to Bryce.
No.
There you go. He's been in that situation so many times before. He commands RAC Arena. Gives Perth a 14-point lead and puts them well and truly on the path to a 4th straight W.
Well, I told you it was coming. He just senses the moment. They made him get rid of it. Ty Webster missed, but some people are built for these moments and some people just are these moments. And that is Bryce Cotton on the Harvey Norman replay.
And don't forget about Wagstaff here. Important hand. Get it straight out. And he does what he does. What he's done for a long time. They may have just sealed the game for Perth.
We know every moment matters in NBL 24, and that man makes every moment count. And has for so long in this league, Bryce Cotton. 25 tonight, not his best shooting night, 6 of 17. 11 of 11 from the stripe. 3 rebounds, 4 assists. And the leadership that he brings to this Perth team, we know.
And again, when Adam Ford goes back and watch the tape, that second foul at the start of the second quarter, where Bull Calder's getting his hand in the cookie jar, really allowed Bryce Cotton to start getting comfortable because he still got off in the first quarter, but geez, did he have to work through it. He had to fight through a lot of physicality. And once Bryce, it doesn't matter, I know 6 or 17, but once Bryce is in this mindset, it doesn't normally end too well for the opposition.
Almost, so he does poke it away from Miller. Just couldn't take it back on the offensive end for the Wildcats. He's had a point to prove, Bryce Cotton. He's done that and then some. 62 points in his past 2 outings Webster wins the ball back. He's been terrific tonight for the Wildcats.
Has he what? I'm an unsung hero. I mean, the energy you talk about, getting the crowd involved, getting the crowd up and down. He's got 10 points. He has had his struggles at the free throw line, which you will take sole responsibility for. Just 4 of 9, but he's been enormous. Just taking the 8 shots and getting that steal, the hand he gets on that down the other end, getting in the lane with deflections. The Webster family.
Good to see them in town.
I was waiting for it.
But no, he's been great. And again, we talk about it, and it's going to be a story to watch throughout the season, is the shortened rotation. But there will be a moment when Corey Webster checks in, whether it's injuries, whether it's whatever, and he's going to be heavily relied upon to get Perth across the line. He's a veteran. He's been starred this league for a long time. He'll be ready for that moment.
So Ty Webster's 6 of 11 at the free throw line tonight. He's taken 2 more shots there than he had taken in the entire season coming into this evening. As Pinder tries to put some pressure on Armstrong, who hits the bank shot right over the top of him. Nice move from the young man. Cotton goes to work at the other end, and Menenga pulls it down.
John Antonio checked into the game and got stuck on Cotton Island.
Sitting for 38.5 minutes.
There's probably nothing worse, is there?
Come on and guard the multiple-time MVP who's just hit his last 3.
Not the place you want to be parachuted into off the bench. He's going to get another look at Bryce Cotton here. So it'll be a 4th straight win for the Wildcats as Doolittle hits from the mid-range.
And as it stands, again, certain instances, I really do believe in a plus and minus. It shows the impact you can have with a certain lineup. But since that starting lineup change, as Latney knocks that one down, Christian Doolittle, plus 16 in their first win, plus 19, plus 19, and now he checks out here at a plus 15. So 10 points, 8 rebounds, another unsung hero.
I mean, he came advertised as a toughness, defense, rebounding, who could score. Early on, we didn't see a lot of the rebounding, and he struggled to find his role and his flow, but he's really found it now.
Yeah, he absolutely has. He looks so much more comfortable, and Perth in general look a lot more in rhythm and comfortable together.
Ben Henschel's into the game, everyone.
You've been calling for it for a long time.
Ben Henschel is into the game.
Unfortunately, it's a little bit of junk time at the end, but
cancel the search party. I found him.
It's great to see him. Great to see the young local talent. Hopefully,
here's Saar with a steal. He can't keep it in his own hands, and a nice feed from Armstrong to find AK Gack underneath. This Cairns team, they'll continue to gel. That's the big thing for them.
Oh, no doubt. I think Adam Ford probably knew a lot of people that they might not have even practiced together. So figuring out the roles, figuring out what lineup works well with each other. Thankfully, they've got a lot more games than the rest of the opposition to catch up on.
Absolutely, they do. Armstrong back the other way, outside to Mayhem. Can he finish things off on a good note? He can. He rattles in the 3. But it's the Wildcats' night. They've clawed their way back above 500. A 4th straight win has got Perth moving from the doldrums of the NBL all the way into the top 4 as of tonight. Perth win it 88-80, and they are really back in town, and so is our footlocker player of the game, Bryce Cotton.
Well, he's terrific. I just love that embrace with ball, Cobb, because he's a competitor through and through, and I know that there was a lot of physicality, but the great ones rise above that, and that's what Bryce Cotton continues to do every single season, every single game, and another one on the trot for Perth. And things are looking up. It's amazing. In the span of 2 weeks, we've gone from dire straits to, hang on, this team could do something this year. It's the beauty of the NBL.
And for the Snakes, Rowdy, 19 turnovers in the end. It was just that cohesion that they didn't quite have.
Yeah, just sloppy night for them. Didn't shoot the ball, didn't take care of the ball. They'll learn from it. They've got another game this weekend that they'll get up and get prepared for. Spend a bit of time on the training track, on the court together, get to know each other, learn each other's names, and they'll be much better after the break as well.
Absolutely, they will. Bryce Cotton leads his team into another victory circle. Perth get it done, 88-80. Back to break it all down next. It was a physical affair in the jungle this evening. That matchup between Bull Quoll and Bryce Cotton was telling. And the Wildcats move into the top 4 of the NBL table with a 4th straight win to lift themselves to 6-5 on the season. Considering they were in a real hole a couple of weeks ago, it is quite the turnaround in the season for the Perth Wildcats. Joel Peterson, Ryan Brockhoff, Pete Hawley with you to wrap this one up. We take a look at our Hungry Jacks highlights post-game. There were plenty throughout the course of the night, gentlemen, but just a few more on the offensive end for the Wildcats.
Yeah, it was. And again, we were all here for the price of admission on Bull Quoll versus Bryce Cotton, but just the timeliness of some of his fouls early on was what Bryce Cotton allowed him to get rolling, and then everybody else just kind of came along for the ride. But Bryce Cotton's going to be the standout, and that's probably going to happen more often than not. But guys like Ty Webster, guys like Christian Doolittle, Jesse Wagstaff, they are so important in this team's success, and we've seen that in the last 4 games.
We have, and the limited rotations has sort of defined roles a little bit more clear for everybody, and it's all about buying in. Cotton's going to be the man, everyone play your role, and it's led to 4 victories on the trot for them.
They'll really be happy with what they've seen, not only the Perth Wildcats, but the Red Army, especially from that man, Bryce Cotton. Couple of question marks, the rotation at the moment, but it's doing the right thing for John Riley and the Perth Wildcats, exactly what they would want. The Taipans, well, they'll get better. They've both got games to come, these 2 teams. Cairns have got Tassie, and of course, Perth have got Brisbane. Tomorrow night, Daniel Johnson is back in the Adelaide Entertainment Centre.
Cannot wait for that, and I hope that they roll out the red carpet. I hope there's a video. Thank you. He's one of the legends of that club, but one of the legends of the NBL as well, so I'm looking forward to that.
How's the Phoenix going to go, Rowdy?
They look to rebound from a poor performance during the throwdown, so I expect a physical game from them.
Looking forward to that. We'll be in the Adelaide Entertainment Centre tomorrow night for that game when the 36ers take on the Phoenix. Tonight, the Wildcats were too good. They forced themselves into the playoff conversation. They win by 8.
This program is brought to you by Hungry Jacks and Bunnings Warehouse.